Hello, everybody. You already know what time it is. We are recording this, waiting for the PSV Juventus extra time. That game is 3-3 as the time I record this. By the time this gets posted, you probably already know what happens, and so do I. Anyways, it was all Real Madrid tonight. Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 1. We're going to be reacting, giving you guys some thoughts. Get in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup. I'm going to tell you guys this, and I told you guys this before they played the first leg. If Man City didn't win that first leg by 2 goals or more, I didn't give them one chance, and boy, I don't do this a lot. We were right on this channel. We were really right. And I'm not saying I'm not right a lot, but I don't sit here and say, oh, I got this right, I did that right. Look, we nailed this one. Man City this season, ultimately, disappointing, not good enough, too reliant on specific players that aren't healthy and available. And let's be honest, the players that have carried this team for so long, they're just not the same. Foden is not the same this season. All right, without getting too negative in this video, Foden is not the same. Gundogan is definitely not the same. De Bruyne is definitely not the same. And, yes, you could say no Haaland tonight. Did it hurt them? Maybe. But will we have ran into the situation with Haaland where is he just not going to get the service that he needs, that he got with De Bruyne when De Bruyne was still saucing out there? That's another conversation. No Rodri still is obviously really hurting these guys. They're just not the same team. And, it doesn't take anyone special to tell you that. Look, you look at this matchup on paper before it even starts. Man City, to give themselves a chance, would have had to go here with a 2-goal advantage and defend for their lives, all right? Because they were set up for failure. Anyone in world football, even on Madrid's worst season, is set up for failure, having to go and play here in the second leg. Look, for me, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you have a lot to be excited about because, to be honest, the start of the season, we weren't so sure. I think a lot of Real Madrid fans are going to have to owe Mbappe an apology because not only did this guy score a hat-trick tonight, that was a hat-trick, okay? That wasn't one of those one penalty, one tap-in, and maybe one nice goal or one ricochet hat-trick. That was a hat-trick. Look at Mbappe's second goal here. I mean, he's the best player in the world. I'm sorry. I don't care what you guys say. I know some players are having some seasons at the moment. I know. I don't even know if that clip was too loud that you didn't even hear me. I'm going to say it again. He's the best player in the world. Mbappe is the best talent in world football when he plays the way he plays tonight. I think he had the worst stretch in his career in quite a while in the summer with France and at the start of this season, but he has slowly shut up the critics, and he has arrived, man. 3 goals in a Champions League knockout, and not only in a Champions League knockout against Manchester City. 3 goals. All right, 3 goals. Hat-trick for Mbappe. The first goal, he dusts Ruben Diaz. You guys tell me Ruben Diaz is in the World 11 all the time. You tell me that all the time. Dusts him, right? Stones, great defender in my opinion. Boxes him out, chips it over the keeper. First goal. Third goal, Foden essentially, that summed up Foden's whole season. All right? He takes a shot in the second half that he shanks over the crossbar. All right? I don't even know. I think I would have taken a better shot. Goes into the third level. All right? That's how bad Foden's season has been. And, bro, he's just given up. Like, the defensive effort, I know you're an attacking midfielder, but at the same time, bro, you got to try to mark up. Mbappe does one scissor, Foden goes off to Narnia, and Mbappe puts a clinical finish with his weak foot into the far corner. Look, Mbappe, man, he's one of my favorite players. You guys have seen me be very critical about him because his talent level is at that upper echelon tier, all right? Some players will never, and even as crazy as seasons they produce, will ever have the same aura and talent level that this Kylian Mbappe, when we see this version of him, has. He is an incredible, very special, once in a generation player. I will stand by it. Tonight also, before we break down anything in the game, Mbappe reached his 500th goal contribution in his professional career. 358 goals and 142 assists, which is kind of crazy. 500 comps already. We've said as football viewers that Mbappe, it was disappointing to see. Obviously, he was so close to getting the second World Cup. So close. He put on a phenomenal effort in that final. Just didn't show out the way. We look at this summer, as good as Spain was in the Euro. If Mbappe played the way he played tonight, if France didn't play as defensive as the way they chose to play, we could be speaking differently about that. So hopefully that gets sorted soon, right? Because we want to see Mbappe thriving with France again. And Mbappe has the potential at his current age again, and with the players that France has, to really do something special. And if you know what I mean by that, It's what Pele has done, which not a lot of players, even the GOATs, have ever come close to doing. Okay, so Mbappe is still on for that in his career. He's on for pretty much anything you can think of, right? The one thing that is missing on Mbappe's resume, no Champions League yet, and no Ballon d'Or yet. So that is what Mbappe is after. And if you want to do that, where is a better place to play? It's Real Madrid. Look, the Real Madrid fans tonight, if you watch this game, you're probably not super surprised because your team has been playing better and better every week. This team is full of all-stars, man, superstars. This team, if they can figure it out, it's one of those where if these guys decide to show up on that night, if they have the fuel in them, if they have the passion, I'm not sure I could tell you one team in the world, talent-wise, that's better than this team when they decide to play this way. And I think that's why we were all so surprised starting the season with what we were seeing. But, guys, to be honest with you, Real Madrid have slowly really just turned this season around. And in big games, they're playing very well against big teams. The La Liga race is on. And let me tell you this, the Champions League race for them is more than on. So if we go here, we take a look at the knockout stages, right? So the draw is going to be on Friday. Real Madrid will either draw against, I believe they will draw against, we got to see how it all goes. But I think, yeah, they're going to play Bayern, or do they play Bayern either way? Now, how does this work? Yeah, they're going to play Bayern, or I got to see this. How does this work? They're going to play Atletico, or they're going to play Leverkusen. Possible matchups. Seeded teams, Atletico Madrid and Bayern Leverkusen. Unseeded teams, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. So, they are going to play Atletico Madrid, or they are going to play Leverkusen, which, to be honest with you guys, in terms of a first-round draw in the knockouts, it's not a good one. Let's talk a little bit more about the game tonight before we go any further into what's coming up next. Looking at the lineups, guys, I have to say this. Valverde might be one of my favorite players to watch. This guy is genuinely generational as well. I know we're throwing out a lot of crazy words tonight. This guy is such a special player. Man, there was one pass he had this game from the right back position, which whenever he plays right back, he is phenomenal. All right, he is phenomenal. That genuinely 3 players could have got on the end of it. I actually think Mbappe did get on the end of it, and then that's when he had that mini injury. The midfield tonight, I mean, we almost saw Ceballos' career ruined at Arsenal, and this guy is out here doing McGeady, double touches. I mean, wow. And look, this guy Asensio, stepping in there looking like a young Sergio Ramos. So Madrid has a lot to be excited about going forward. I mean, the luxury of bringing in Camavinga, Brahim Diaz, Modric, still what a quality player, class player, Alaba back from injury, Endrick, and they still don't even use a player like Arda Güler. And, they still have a Carvajal and a Militao injury. Look, this team is loaded. If they can play like this every single game, my thing with Real Madrid this season, all right, if they, over a 2-leg format, can hold teams to 2 or 3 goals, and they can get the production out of the players they got with Mbappe and Vini today, if they can get that production, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat these guys, man. All right, because if they can put up 5 to 8 goals in any 2-leg matchup, I mean, guys, look, Man City's not having a great season, but let's be honest, Man City in most of these knockout games, not all of them, right? Definitely not a couple, but a lot of them would be the favorite, right? And they went out there today, and for me, this game was way more than 3-1. They dismantled Man City. I mean, Kusunov, a poor guy. Pep throws him out there. He brings him in the winter window, and man, like, I just feel bad for him. I mean, at some point, Vini and Mbappe are just toying with him. Guardiola got sent back to Croatia tonight for as good of a season, honestly, as I think Guardiola has been one of City's best players. That's what I'm saying. That this Madrid team is different, man. They're going out there and making players that are very well respected in world football look like nothing, man. Marmoush, look, for City, guys, there's not much analysis there. I think Foden has been absolutely missing at many of the moments this season. It's just not clicking for them, man. It's like a write-off season. You regroup, you focus on the next one. You're out of Champions League now. And the last part about Real Madrid, Rodrigo is a sensational footballer. I'm just going to include this in here. Rodrigo is he is one of the most unselfish players ever. Guys, do you understand? I think he is so good. Rodrigo is such a special talent, and he's genuinely, at this club, playing under the light of Vini Jr., Mbappe, and even Jude Bellingham. Man, this guy is so special. His tech on the ball, I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal to watch him play football. His control, his vision, his dribbling, special player as well. So Madrid showing out tonight. There's not much more to say. It's a perfect game. It's a perfect 2-leg matchup. They go to City. Um, they're up on aggregate. And look, Mbappe is just, I mean, a 9.7 in a knockout game. So Man City is officially out. For me, there's nothing too surprising there. I mean, this was the exact type of night that it was for Manchester City. Mbappe just casually out there laughing at what he's doing to, to Guardiola. Other thoughts about this game. I don't even know what player could have. I mean, if we be objective here, if City had Rodri, right, is this going to be that different? As good as Rodri is, because man, I'm in the camp that I didn't mind that he won the Ballon d'Or last year. No, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I think we would have had to go back and find the City team from like 2 years ago, man, for them to have a chance tonight. Madrid is just it's such a fluid attack. If you watch a couple of the goals tonight, the way they go from Courtois all the way passing through the team and the final goal just sensational. This is a very special team. This is a team that, look, they've got their work cut out for them, guys. As good as they've played tonight, they definitely have their work cut out for them. When we get the draw, we'll react to it on Friday because it's not going to be an easy path for them. You can see here, we were just talking about it. Real Madrid is going to have to play against two really quality sides. I mean, Leverkusen will not be an easy game. Atletico Madrid will not be an easy game, right? It would be a really tough, draw in the round of 16 that you're going to have to face somebody that basically you're competing for a league title with. And everyone will tell you this. It doesn't matter what the season is. Atletico Madrid is not a team you want to see in a round of 16 knockout, a round of 8 knockout. And, Leverkusen for me is, probably one of the only teams in this competition that I would sit here and look at you and tell you that, this team could actually probably score goals on par with Real Madrid. They are very capable of scoring a lot of goals. Will they be able to contain the craziness defensively of what Mbappe and what Vini and what Rodrigo and what Jude and Valverde and like the list goes on, what they're doing right now? That's another question for another day. This knockout is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I believe we just saw that PSV are now winning 3-1. I actually predicted PSV to go through, so if you guys saw that on this channel, we'll go through and we'll talk about some of that stuff as well in a separate video. But this is going to be a legendary knockout. I mean, one team, I will say this, guys. One team should theoretically have a much easier run than another team. One side of the bracket is going to be much more challenging than the other. We will see what that entails. But either way, a final thought in this video. Real Madrid is not a team that I would want to see. And that's the funny part with how this has gone. A lot of the teams that got seeded 1 through 8 are going to see a monster, all right, in Real Madrid. And, boy, they are not going to be rewarded with that. And a lot of the other teams, that aren't going to draw them right away, well, if they win their next round of 16, they're going to see them in the round of 8. And let me tell you, no matter how good of a season Barcelona is having, no matter how good of a season Liverpool is having, no matter how good PSG look playing against Brest, who, to be honest, is just one of the farmer teams they play all the time in Ligue 1. It doesn't matter how many of these teams you guys think have a chance. I would not want to play Real Madrid right now at all when they look like that, because I genuinely think they have the talent, they have the aura, they have the Champions League heritage. They really do, guys. We've seen Real Madrid in some of their worst seasons in terms of how they look still go out and win the Champions League. And to me, this team looks scary. So for Real Madrid, I'm just going to say this as a final thought. I think their own destiny is in their hand, man. All these teams that we have in this competition this year, if Real Madrid want to lace up the boots and play the way they played in these 2 legs, I know you can say whatever you want to say about how bad City has been this season. All I'm saying is I'm definitely fearful of this team. I would not want to play against this team at all. They scare me, man. They scare me. So congratulations to the Real Madrid fans tonight. It was a crazy, crazy match to watch. And I'm very happy to see Mbappe playing again, looking focused, looking happy. The Real Madrid players starting to figure out their roles. The Real Madrid players, this is the one thing too. Guys, us on the couch, what we don't realize, man. Do you know how many players in this Real Madrid 11 would probably go to other teams and be the best player at another team? There's a lot of them, all right? Vini probably would be the best player at most teams in the world, Definitely. Jude Bellingham. I mean, people say that he's shit. All I see is a very hardworking player, man, that sees the game differently, moves differently. I think Rodrigo, I'm not saying he's going to be the best player at every other team in the world, but top 2 player on most teams in the world. Valverde, what a talent, So Courtois, still for me, probably top 3 keeper. He's been top 3 keeper for a decade. They have so many egos in this locker room. And if they're going to be able to go and sacrifice all that, for me, that's the biggest challenge. Can they work together like they worked in these two legs, to sacrifice their own individualness and find a way to come together, support each other? And look, if Mbappe is playing the way he is playing, Vinny, man, Jude and Rodrigo, you guys do what you do to create and get the ball to Vinny or Mbappe. And when Vinny and Mbappe are on the ball, you guys keep the off-the-ball movement going, and no one is going to stop this team. We just saw them send many of the Manchester City defenders into Narnia for most of this game. This game was not close. Total destruction. Congratulations to Real Madrid fans. I'm happy to see them go through because at the end, they were the better team.